Hi, welcome to today's video. I'm Ashley and we'll be talking about speech sound disorders. Speech sound disorders pertain to perception of speech sounds, motor skills, and overall expressive language pragmatics. So perception, we know, is how the brain receives and processes those speech sounds in the environment. And then motor skills is how the mouth and tongue move to produce those speech sounds. And then overall expressive language pragmatics is how the words are put together to form and convey meaning. How do we determine this? Well, first, classroom teachers are the key to early intervention. They have students most of the day in various different communication settings and opportunities. So they're able to see if there's a communication disorder through classroom observations, as well as through some more formal assessments such as ecological assessments and DIBELS, which looks at sound fluency and word fluency. And then they can put in new strategies if they feel that the student needs something a little extra. And if those strategies don't work, where I was previously, they had the RTI model. And the RTI model is an intervention model where a problem-solving team comes together with the classroom teacher and they work together on some new strategies that maybe the teacher didn't think about, some more intensive intervention in more small group or one-on-one based on what tier intervention they need. And then if those don't work, they refer them to the speech language pathologist who does more formal assessments. First, being hearing to make sure that the perception of the speech sounds is not due to a hearing loss. And then they look at the formation of the mouth and the tongue to make sure there's no malformations. And then they look at the articulation assessments and those expressive receptive language assessments such as the ALS-2 or the Goldman-Fristow. And then after that, the team meets and comes together and talks about further speech language services that may be needed and things that can be done in the classroom and at home. Now, in the classroom for special education teachers, some of these things come pretty automatic as strategies to use because most of our students are already receiving speech therapy and we work really close with the speech language pathologist. And one of the things that I used was making sure that I purposefully taught the language sounds, those letter sounds, speech sounds, with the formation of the mouth and tongue. And now students thought this was pretty funny, but it was engaging for them, and they actually were more apt to try and form the mouth and tongue where it needed to be to make those sounds. That was explicitly taught, whereas in the kindergarten classroom, it may or may not be. But that's one big strategy to help because then the students see how their mouth and tongue work to form those sounds and to make words and why it's important that we do it correctly. So after all of this, how does this impact the student? Well, first, this process can be pretty lengthy and it takes some time. So that time in between, that student is kind of in the gray area. They're in that gap, just relying on what strategies are already available to them and the extra support. But then once the speech language services are provided and the tests are completed and you know more of where the problem is coming from, whether it's one of the things that I talked about in the beginning or if it's a combination of them, then you can start providing even more one-on-one services to help the student achieve progress and achieve better speech. Thanks for watching. Bye.